Hey guys, so I'm inside of my cardboard box fort right now. Just kidding. Just walls of boxes around us in the garage, packed and ready to move. And I'm already starting to think about what I'm going to plant first, vegetable-wise, at the new house. And you may not want to hear this, but it's almost time to start thinking about your fall garden. Some of you, it probably is time, maybe past time, if you have a really short growing season. But I'm going to be going through that in the next few weeks, getting seeds started for the fall garden, what you can grow, the best way to grow it. Of course, I'll be starting my seeds under the Viparspectra. This is the XS400. They have lots of different varieties with different price points. I've got discount codes down below in the video description, but there are also, I've done other grow light videos with, more affordable, maybe less effective options. But if money is an issue and you can't step up to the Viparspectra yet, then, a shop light, LEDs, I've got those choices in other videos. I'll link that below as well. But I do recommend eventually, when you can, to graduate to one of these, because you have so much wider of a growing area. You have so much more freedom in what you can do and different ages of plants that you can grow underneath it without having to raise and lower it and keep that light source 2 inches above the leaves. So we will be getting into all of that in the next few weeks, getting our seeds started for our fall garden. Now, what can you grow in your fall garden? Well, pretty much any greens that you can think of, lettuces, Asian greens, kale, chard, all of that. You can also do the brassicas, so you can do cabbages, you can do kohlrabi, you can do broccoli, cauliflower, peas, my favorite cool season crop. There's really a wide variety of cool season crops, and it's always nice to be able to squeeze something in before the winter when the summer plants are starting to kind of look a little bit tired out. It's great to have some cool season transplants that you start indoors to put in there once they're done, and then take advantage of those all the way through till even after frost. A lot of these cool season crops are very frost hardy, and some will even make it through the snow. So stay tuned for all of that. I wanted to give you, while we're here talking about the Viparspectra XS400, I wanted to give you an update on my hydroponic lettuce that I did a video on, getting that started. It was my really first time in a long time growing hydroponically, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. I had that little floating circle styrofoam thing that the net cups were in, and a lot of you said that without some breathing room underneath, they would run out of oxygen with the roots, with all the roots being underwater. And so I just with all the moving and everything, I was going to modify that a little bit better. What I ended up doing was just keeping that much water in the bottom of this container and just setting the net cups on the bottom. And that seemed to work out fine. Yes, I did get algae issues, and I have algae issues in the water. It is pretty much a green swamp right at this point. The biggest problem, though, was the heat. Lettuces don't like heat. And while they were inside the house, they were doing just fine. In fact, a week or so ago when we left, we're selling our house, so we had to leave for the showings. I moved the entire setup into the garage because I didn't want it in the house, and you don't want a green swamp in your house because non-gardeners wouldn't understand. Although I didn't want to sell the house to a non-gardener, so maybe I should have kept it in there. Anyway, I didn't. I brought it out here. There's no climate control in the garage. In fact, I'm sweating right now. So what happened was, they looked like this before we left, before I put them in the garage. They were doing great. I probably should have started harvesting them then and, did the cut and come again thing. But I didn't. And, of course, they started to bolt. Let me see if I can shake this off and get it closer to the camera. So they are bolting. They're putting up a stem, and they're wilting. I would have thought that even in the hottest weather, if they're sitting literally in water, they would have not wilted so bad. But every day, this is what happens. At night, they perk up a little bit more. So overall, I think if I could have kept them in the house, if we weren't showing the house and moving, I think they would have done fine. And I think these are actually still edible at this point. I don't think they will be bitter yet, but I want to wash them. They have been in some muck. So overall, I think I'm going to count this as a success because we were thrown for a loop in having to disrupt their cool environment and put them out here into this desert where I'm dying right now. However, I'm not sure hydroponic is for me. If I had a greenhouse or something where I could have a bigger setup, and maybe that's something I will try at the new property. Let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see me get into a little bit more expansive hydroponic growing? Let me know that in the comments. But I do believe that the light was a success for the first time ever. I've successfully grown something to fruition indoors, and like I said, if I didn't have to bring them out here, they would have done a lot better. So I do have a lot of hope for all of my seeds. And let's face it, I'm moving to an 1.5 acres. I'm going to need to start a lot of seeds. So this puppy's going to be running probably 24/7 for the next few years. So it's a good thing it is LED, full spectrum, and doesn't use a ton of electricity and doesn't put off a ton of heat, right? That's important. So stay tuned, upcoming on this channel for what you can plant in August. And I'm going to be going through some cool season plants. I'm going to be starting, once I have this moved and set up at the new place, I'm going to be starting my fall or cool season crops under this grow light. Again, check out the different Viparspectra lights that I have down below in the link with coupon codes for discounts. And then if it's just a little bit out of your price range right now, that's okay too. I will put another video I did that goes over some different options that you might even have already at home that you can use. You'll just have to confine it to a little bit of a smaller space and keep an eye on it a little bit more than something like this. But this is something to work for. All right, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.